biggest myth, the biggest financial myth that I really love to debunk is that money is not energy. Money does not hold any vibration. So everyone out there that are trying to align their frequency to the frequency of money and just vibrate high as money. Your money vibration, your the energy of money, are you calling it in because you're not aligned to the energy of money? And it's like, fuck, it just, it's not, that's not it. That's not it. Like, if there's anything that I've learned over my whole career around money and what you're taught about money is just not true, even in the spiritual spaces. Like, even the spiritual people got it fucking wrong. You're like tapped into this false matrix of money, searching for something outside of yourself. Because if I could just align to the highest vibration of money, then more is going to come into my life. So I just want to spend a little bit of time on this because it's not what you hear, and it's backed by knowledge, it's backed by wisdom, knowing money, knowing business, knowing the system, knowing in, knowing out, knowing up, knowing down. But really it's the core requirement. Like, if you want to create more money, you need to know this. If you want to manage your money better, you need to know this. If you want to protect your money, you have to know this because it's actually got fucking nothing to do with money. And if you keep outsourcing that power to something external, a tool, like money is a tool. Money is a note, right? Or now it's digital, right? It's a store of value that was created, right? We actually assign the value of money to it. And this is why everyone's value is different, right? So, $10 for me is different to $10 for you, or like $1,000 to me is different to $1,000 to you. Some people think, oh, fuck, $1,000, that's so much. I wish I just had $1,000 in savings. Other people are like, $1,000, man, that's like 10 bucks, you know? I got 300 grand in the bank. Happy days. So it's not money, it's you, right? It's your value. You are the currency. You are the value. You have everything you need already to make money. And the money that you make is based upon your frequency, your currency, your value, your drive, your passions. And a lot of people are stuck in the mentality of swapping time for money because that is also a value. Time is a currency where you spend your time. Anyone coming into my programs, we do a time audit. Where are you spending your time? Because actually, we can speed time up or we can slow it right the fuck down. You're in control of your time. And then attention is currency as well, where you're putting your attention, your focus. These are all the things that create the currency that you're spending or that you're earning in this life. And the money, how it shows up in your bank account and what's in your bank account and how it comes in and how it goes out has got nothing to do with money itself. It's just the construct that's been created that you're attaching certain values, certain beliefs, certain ideals, certain concepts to. And I actually want to completely detach you from money. By the end of this podcast, I want you to not give a fuck about money because money is not the end goal. Value. It's all about value. It's all about your unique value, your currency. You are the currency. Energy comes through you, through your being. It comes from God source in your crown chakra, through your entire being. We're electrical beings. You have a charge in your currency. The current flows through your body. There is an electrical charge that creates an output. So you spend your time with your charge creating outputs. So the money in your bank account has got nothing to do with dollars. And it doesn't even matter who created it. You could receive money, you could receive gold, silver, crypto, resources. We want to increase our ability to be resourceful. And the more you try and align to a frequency of money, money is dead. It is not alive. I did a massive deep dive on water and I learned the difference between alive water and dead water. Money is dead. There is no such thing as alive money. So if money is dead, does it have a frequency? No. You're just giving all of this power to something that is dead. You're trying to revive something that cannot be. It's a tool. It's dead. So, okay. I'm not going to negate the fact that there is a frequency, but it is not the frequency of money. You're tapped into a false matrix of striving for something that is based on your ego, based on your wants, your desire. And if you look at the emotional scale where desire sits, it's right down the bottom, keeping you in a low vibration because your emotional state in your being is a low vibration. Your charge is low. Desire, right? Or lack. So we want to connect to that charge and find out, well, what is it? What is your frequency? What is the frequency that you hold in the charge in your being? And so many different things will make it up. It's not just what you do for your business. It's just not just your products and your services. It's you because you're the one running your business. You're the one receiving the money, spending the money. You're the one building relationships. Your business is a reflection of the relationships that you have. Your relationships are a reflection of your currency. Money is the byproduct. And we can have intention for money, but realistically, money flows more with system than it does intention, right? And you can create a system that is backed by a powerful intention. Wow. You watch the money flow then. Yeah. So there's a lot of coaches out there aligning you to death. Really. The dead world. And I like to invest in the living, aliveness, life force. Everyone has connection to their life force. It's very powerful. Sometimes that connection is just not as strong as we'd want it to be, or it's clouded, it's murky, the waters are not flowing gracefully, right? There might be some rocks or boulders in the way. There might be some cracks or some leaks. Imagine your human body is like a pipe, and money, like energy, flows. Oh my God, edit that word, money. Money does not flow. Energy flows through your pipe, right? It comes from God's source and it flows through your pipe. And everyone has a flow of energy, right? Through your main system. And there's the physical element to that, right? There's the electrical currents through your body that's sending signals all over your body. It goes through your spine and your central nervous system. Electrical currents. It's what gives you energy to do things and to move. And then we have the emotional, right, of the water going through the pipes. And we might have some blockages around our heart, or we might have some power that we're not tapped into, or we might have some leaks, but it's you. It's not money. It's you. It's in you. And then we've got the spiritual flow of money, right? So it's being connected to your soul star chakra, being connected to God's source, and being in co-creation, because that energy spiritually, it doesn't, you can't get rid of it, right? You can't turn it off. It's always flowing. When people say, I'm going to clear your money blocks, you can't clear something. You can clear an emotional response, but when you're transmuting energy, it's not clearing, it's a transmutation. You're shifting the energy of it. So when that energy is moving through your entire being and you go through a transmutation process, what it does, it just opens the flow and the capacity and increases the power, right? So that energy is coming through your being, and you've got like a torus field, right? And it goes around and it comes back, and it's like a waterfall, and it just keeps going around and comes back, and we're connected to God, and we're connected to Mother Earth, and we're like the balance between the physical and the spiritual realms. We're the ones here on planet Earth. We're raising our vibration and our ascension and blah blah blah, all the amazing beautiful spiritual things. But it's like that spiritual connection to your currency is increasing the power of that water flow of energy through your torus field. Think of a dam, right? And how a dam creates power and electricity. So imagine if you're spiritually blocked off, that dam is not flowing. There's a wall there. We need to open the floodgates to allow more current through, more power through. And then a lot of people say, well, we've got to contain it, right? And they talk about containers and protecting and containing. It's like, well, actually, do you want to contain your energy? No, we want to make it watertight and free flowing across the multiverse, right? You don't want to contain your energy. You want to increase the capacity and keep it watertight. Water can be such a powerful thing. Energy is like water, it moves. It could be a little trickle, or it could be a huge waterfall. Everyone, when I look at people and everyone and I'm connecting to them or connecting to their business and I'm connecting to their energy, I'm just like tapping in and feeling their flow, feeling where you're at. There's no right or wrong, no one's a bad vibration, no one's a bad energy, there is no such thing as good and bad. There's no bad. There's just like aligned or misaligned, hurt or not hurt, hurt or healed, or there's realized or suppressed. There's so many variations and scales, and so like we're so unique in our energy. Everyone has a unique energy. So when you're tapping into the truth of what your currency and your energy and your flow is, there's all these things over this current lifetime that makes your energetic frequency so unique to you. No one has your frequency. No one. So when there's all these spiritual businesses out there trying to align to the frequency of money and tap into the frequency of wealth and align themselves to that, you tapped into a false matrix. You've got to go beyond that and find the truth of who you are, because that's where the real wealth lies. When you're tapped into the truth of who you are and you become the expression of that through your business, that's when you can open the floodgates. If that's what you want, not everybody wants that. Some people, what you want in your life comes, it's part of it too. What do you actually want in your life? And when I ask people this question, some people are like, well, I want to do this and I want to create this and I want to have this and I want to. What do you actually like beyond the material world? Beyond the material world, what is it that you want to feel? What is it, who is it that you want to be in this world? Because the material is the last step. The physical, the alchemy in this life is the very, very, very last step. The life that you create that happens in this physical reality is based upon your frequency of you, who you are, what you want to create, how you want to experience love, how you express, how you give, how you receive, all of these things. And I look at the life that I have alchemized and I'm like, fuck, I could never have imagined that. So when you let go of the attachment to the physical world and just go, I'm just going to be me. I'm just going to create what feels aligned, and I'm just going to work on my well-being, my emotional, my cup, my frequency, my energy, my creations, with a deep desire to leave the world a better place than when I entered it. The rest just happens naturally. All these business coaches going, oh, this is the magic pill to 10K months, or this is how you're going to get to 50K months, or this is how you're going to, this system is going to create you financial freedom. And it's like, that system doesn't work for everybody. Yeah, sure, a small percentage of people might have success in that because it's a pretty good system. Everyone has a different way of moving in this world. So you want to move to the flow of your own current and create from that space. Because the universe responds to balance and harmony. And when you're in that co-creation space and flow, you're just flowing, right? It doesn't mean there's no ups and downs, right? There's cycles, there's seasons, there's ebbs and there's flows, but you're just flowing along. You'll just keep going with the flow. It's all perfect. And I'm co-creating with my soul, with my spirit, with my higher self, with my ancestors, with the future generation, with God, with source, with creator, with universe, with the aliens, whoever you're creating with, you get to choose. So learning this stuff can be really jolting because it's like I've spent my whole life trying to create money in alignment with the frequency of a high vibration and well, fuck, what now? Where do I go? What do I do? And I've worked with enough people on this now to safely say that you actually just have to stop. You actually just, when you are pushing from a place that is driven by money, I've worked with enough people with money over the years, and I just feel like Everyone wants to know the next thing to do. And what's the next thing to do? What's the next thing to do? And I've had people come through and they're like, we'll create a to-do list, and then we create the list and then they never look at it. And then they'll go, all right, they'll have a list so long of all the things that they got to do, then they'll never do any of it. Or they'll go and try and do everything as quickly as possible. And we actually just got to drop that to-do list for a hot minute, because you've got to unlearn and then relearn. And you can't relearn and know what the next step is while you're still unhealed, while you're still operating from a place that's driven by money. When you're operating from a place that is to make more money or to save more money, or you have to really look at your underlying decisions in life. And if you're making decisions that are driven by money, you're just going to repeat same, 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 same. So we really need to take space. And it feels so counter, and you're like, but I've got bills to pay and I've got this. And I'm like, okay, the journey to financial freedom, there's 3 steps. And the first step is financial security, right? And you do not want to do a single thing that puts your financial security at risk. Right. So we start with, well, how much money do you need to be financially secure? That means you have a roof over your head, you have food on the table, and you have clothing, right? Food, shelter, clothing, basic human needs, right? And when you're operating in that space of survival for just your basic human needs, you cannot be in a space of co-creation. It's just not possible. So, in order to step out of that survival, you need to change your behavior with money. And this is man, I did a post last week and I was talking about this, and I had over 150 people comment on it because they're like, fuck yeah, I want this. And, my comments are attached to a little thing, and I send people like, yep, this is metrics. This is where you can do, this is changing the behavior, right? This is actually changing the behavior with your money so that we get through that financial security. No one wants to do it. No one. I have people sign up, and even when they sign up and you give them the tool, you give them the template, you give them, a very small percentage of people actually do it. Because what we've been conditioned is money is hard, tracking it is hard, sticking to a budget is hard. I can't read profit and loss. I don't understand balance sheet. You need an accounting degree to understand to manage money. No, it's pluses and minuses. That's it. Actually, ditch the fucking budget, throw out the profit and loss, get rid of it all. Stop asking your accountant, or stop expecting your accountant to change your position with money, because they just won't. They're geared for compliance. You're asking the wrong people. If you really want to move into the next level of financial freedom, which after financial security is financial confidence, to get financial security, you've got to behave differently. You cannot change your behavior without first understanding what is driving that. And most people are in financial trauma, driving their decisions in their life from that place, in survival. If you cannot do that first step, you will not. I've seen people try and go beyond the first step into confidence and freedom, but when you build financial freedom, or you co-create with God source energy without the foundation of management in place for security, I see it. I see it every day. People that take their trauma from the public, move it to the private, same trauma, same behavior. What's the fucking point? Because everyone's in this space of, I need to protect, I need to protect, I need to protect. Babe, you haven't got anything worth protecting. And that's okay. But we want to build up that equity. We want to build up that value, and it's your value. And then we can protect it. But you got to be tapped into your value before we can even touch it. So, everyone wants the quick pill, the magic fix. And I create a system and it's customized and it's unique and it helps people. People still don't fucking do it. They still don't do it. It's only the people that want more from me, right? And I say, well, I can't do that until I can see your metrics. And then we can change things. Otherwise, we're just flying blind. That's what creates the confidence when you can make financial decisions from a much different place. Much different. So I love like tapping into people's currency and creating their unique value and seeing what their, impact is in the world and all this amazing stuff. But people are still outsourcing their power to a fucking dead energy. Stop letting money be the ruler of your life. When you stop for a minute, and I don't mean like just a minute, you actually have to surrender, right? You've got to consciously go, I need to stop being busy. I need to stop being frantic. I need to stop looking outside of myself. I need to stop trying to find the magic pill. I am the magic pill. And for some people, just hearing this is a beautiful reminder. Go and book a 3-day holiday. Get the fuck out of your home, out of your environment. You literally need to get out of your environment to reset. To reset. You need to reset for longer than 24 hours, right? You need to turn off your phone, stop watching telly. You need to get out in nature for an extended period of time because clarity doesn't land when you're busy. Clarity doesn't flow when your attention is a currency. And when you're constantly focusing on the kids, or constantly focused on the business, or constantly focused on the partner, or then this is happening, and then you're catching up with those friends, and then we're doing this, and then we're going, making sure we go to the gym. Like going to the gym, yeah, really great self-care, but is it a pause? No, some people are even attached or addicted to that. We actually have to stop. I had when some clients sign up, beautiful husband and wife, they're like, all right, let's get in, let's do this. What's that? And I'm like, go take a holiday together. They're like, what? Wait, what? I'm like, can you do it? Like, can you make this happen? Like, yeah, I guess. Like, minimum 2 nights. No phones, no TV, no news, no distractions, full presence. You will literally go crazy. Not many people can do that. It takes a lot of self-control. Over the years, I've done it heaps of times. Every time I come back from a reset, this last reset was a month disconnected because you cannot connect to the truth of who you are while you're plugged in to society. And when you're a leader who's here to change society, it's not going to come being plugged into society. You got to unplug. So take space. Then magic happens if you allow it. So then you got to understand, like, you got to learn to translate the language of your soul, translate the language of who you are, so that when you're in co creation with God, you know the difference between God or soul speaking, or you. So this is the difference between ego or higher self. Are you creating from the mind or from the heart? You gotta uncover your uniqueness. And it's not just knowing all the good things, it's knowing the bad as well. Knowing the dark and the light, because you're the yin and the yang. You're all of it. When you know who you truly are, you become unfuckwithable. Right. And this has been the journey, right? When it wasn't just stepping into the spiritual accountant, like the spiritual accountant has been all forms and all shapes and all versions, and I'll keep evolving. And but when I evolve into the next version, it doesn't make all the prior versions dead. I see coaches or spiritual business owners or conscious people, like when they evolve into a new level or a higher frequency, I usually call it, you've just increased your baseline. So anything that you did prior to that doesn't really resonate because you're at a new frequency. You're different in a different radio station, tuned in to a different frequency. It doesn't negate the other frequencies because it takes all of it to create that frequency. It takes all of that. You've got to embrace, you've got to accept, you've got to love all of that because all of those prior versions of you are part of your journey, part of what led you here. And you'll take pieces of each along the way because that's the journey. You can't negate it. You can't project and condemn other people who don't match your frequency. There's so much judgment out there where, oh, she's doing this or she's saying this and, she's doing it wrong or she's not setting the container right or she's leaking her energy everywhere or blah, blah, blah. Like there's all these judgments of different, spiritual business owners. And it's like, lay down the fucking sword because while you're judging, you're just rejecting that person. You're just rejecting something in them that is also in you. And maybe it's because you haven't reached that frequency yet, or maybe it's because you've moved so far beyond that frequency that you just don't resonate with it anymore. So you have to project your shit on them. No, like it's like a staircase of ascension, and every single step is needed, right? And there's people that are in the early stages of awakening that are so important to provide that first step. And that frequency down there, shit, man, that matters because you're dealing with people who are just waking up. And usually the people that are serving at that level are mainstream, right? And they're like serving the masses, right? But they're just serving at that first step. And that is powerful because without that first step, you can't have any other step. And then there's people who serve at different levels. And it's like the higher you go, the deeper the journey. And it doesn't negate any other step because each step is stacked and includes it. So you have to be thankful for it. That was a massive tangent. I just go on these tangents. It's like, I feel like people really needed to hear that because I'm so sick of the judgment and the comparison. It's like, just love, just love everything. And it's not like this bypassing love and light to everything. It's like actually deeply love every single part of the journey because you cannot be in acceptance and move to the next level if you don't. Well, yeah, I think let's just sort of bring it all together and wrap it all up because, baby steps. right? We're all taking steps. And if you really want to create a business that is a reflection of the currency that you are and the value that you put out in the world, and you want to have sustainability, it's baby steps. You know, we've got to peel back some of that stuff to recreate these foundations so that you can move forward sustainably. And when you've built the foundations of your business on the idea of money or creating from the mind or, outsourcing your power somewhere, or, it doesn't mean everything that you've done to this moment is completely wrong. There are going to be elements that absolutely move through and forward to the next version. But if you really like what the market is calling for right now, what people really want right now is what you have. You're just marketing. Am I saying that word right? Marketing. You're just marketing wrong. And it's not wrong. It's just like diluted. If you want to stand out in the marketplace, it's soul. But you can't articulate your soul in the marketplace if you're not connected to it. You can't create sustainable income if you don't know what you're creating or who you're creating with and what that current value is, the value that comes from you. So that value is your leadership skills, it's your passions, it's your gifts, it's your talents, it's how you want to impact the world, the communities that you want to serve, it's your emotional intelligence, it's regulation, it's all these things create these different values in you. And when your business becomes an expression of all of those values, we can speed up time and create bigger impact because that's what the market needs. The world doesn't need people making more money. The world needs conscious people with the ability to be so resourceful that the changes they create will outlive their lifetime. And you don't get that from money. You get that from you.